Sarner, our morning speaker. Steve is coming to us from Goodreads, and he's going to tell you more about himself, and I am really excited to find out and learn more about what Goodreads can do for all of us as author, publishers, and how we can best use that incredible platform. So I bring you Steve Sarner.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. There we go. Thank you, Becky, so much. David, thank you for all your help, too. Really appreciate it. Everybody meet Mike Wolford from Social Jumpstart over here, my photographer this evening. Mike does fantastic videos, great marketing, a good friend of mine, and he actually introduced me to Vita as well. So really appreciate him making the introduction and Becky the invitation and everybody to have us here. So again, I'm Steve Sarner. I'm head of sales and ad solutions at Goodreads. I've been with Goodreads full-time now in that position for about 2.5 years, but I was actually the original sales and marketing advisor to the company when it was founded in 2006. I worked at a firm called Tickle.com, which actually did the dog personality test online. What breed of dog are you? Back in 2000. And I saw the book here, so that was great. And Otis was a junior software engineer. I was running sales at the company at the time. And Otis was a passionate reader, and so we were acquired by Monster in 2004, and Otis took that opportunity to say, this social networking thing is really taking off. We've got Friendster, we've got MySpace, we've got this thing called the Facebook, and I want to make a social network for book lovers. And so he went and founded with his wife Elizabeth in Santa Monica, actually, Goodreads, in 2006, and I kind of helped him get things going from a sales and marketing standpoint, and then over the years it continued to grow. They got up to about 10 million members in 2010, and that's when Facebook recognized it as one of the key developers that they wanted to put on the Facebook platform, and growth really exploded. Amazon tried a number of times to do their own thing and was never really able to figure it out, so they actually acquired Goodreads in 2013. One of the great things about that acquisition, though, is we run the brand separately. As Goodreads, we're still agnostic. So you go on Goodreads, our mission is to get books in the hands of people any way they want to take it or find the books. So you can certainly buy it on Amazon, but we work with Barnes & Noble, we work with all independent bookstores and sellers, we work with libraries, wherever you want to get the book, whatever service you want to do it, if you want to listen to it. Our whole thing is get the book to people, and really our mission is right here. We help people discover and share the books they love. So what I've got here, I'm sorry about the switch. We were going to do Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale and how St. Martin's Press doubled down on it for success. But then midweek I started thinking about the organization. I thought, actually, there's another St. Martin's case study we have of a debut author that probably is going to be a little bit more relevant and contextual to this group. So I'm switching this out. We're going to do Greenwood's All the Wonderful and Ugly Things. And she was a debut author for St. Martin's, obviously a larger publisher, but there's a lot of elements in here that any author could utilize and should utilize, because there's plenty of free things and features on Goodreads that you should be utilizing, and then there's nominal cost type of things you can utilize, and then you can all the way move into full-on advertising programs. So I'm hoping that you'll find this interesting. I hope you find it useful. I've got just a couple slides just to give you a quick background on what's going on with Goodreads today. How many members do we have? Goodreads members here? Good. I knew this group I'd get a lot of hands. So thank you very much. We love having you on the site. We are now 75 million members worldwide, registered members. By far the world's largest book community and social network. I was lucky enough about a year ago to have a chance to meet Lee Childs, and I was speaking with him and he asked, how's things going at Goodreads? And at that time I said, great, we're at 60 million members now. And he was like, oh my God, it's so good to hear there's still that many people reading. So the great news is there's even more people. So 75 million members, growing really well, and about half of these are in the US and half worldwide. So that equates to basically 18 million books discovered every month. So these are people putting these on their want-to-read shelves, and books they want to read, want to buy, and discover. And that equates to every second about 6 books are discovered and shelved on Goodreads. So as we go through this presentation, we'll have hundreds of books discovered by more people. There's 2 key takeaways I'd like to leave you with today. The first one is the importance of a want-to-read shelf on Goodreads. Getting people to add that book to the want-to-read shelf is something that's really important, and something that hopefully some of these techniques and features will be something that help you, give you some ideas to utilize as well. Because once they want to read it, then they go to buy it, and I know that's what we want to see happen here for sure. The second thing that I'd like to leave you with today is that Goodreads is social amplification. If you utilize the site with your author profile, you should claim that and really leverage all the features with the social. So what is social amplification? It's your Goodreads newsfeed. So here we see Christy has liked an update. So all of her friends are seeing this update and they're discovering this book in her newsfeed. Or in this case, we have Christina voted on a poll about how many books she's going to read this summer. And again, that falls into the newsfeed. Here's a case that we have Lori wants to read. So her friends are seeing, here's a book that she wants to read. So that, again, is amplifying across the ecosystem. Another example here is an update from an author, which we're going to talk a little bit about how Green would really leverage this particular feature. An author answered a question, or somebody answered a question about a book, and again, it's getting into that newsfeed, expanding it through amplification. And this is the latest thing that we've done just recently, working with Kindle. You're familiar with Kindle Notes and Highlights, highlighting in Kindle and things of that nature. Goodreads members now can check a box and share their Kindle Note and Highlights into their Goodreads newsfeed. And it's a really, really great way to really make book reading more social and really spark more conversations with people around books. So we're very excited about this new feature. And then it goes beyond the Goodreads platform as well. A couple of things is we have 20 million connected accounts on Facebook with 1.1 million followers. What that means is our members who are connected, when they do activity on like updating, maybe posting a review, it goes in their Goodreads newsfeed as well as their Facebook newsfeed. And then we have 1 million connected on Twitter as well. So there's a lot of viral spread that's available here on Goodreads. So now let's jump into this case study. This book we're going to go over a 2-year period actually. And we're going to dive pretty deep into some of the data here so you can see the impact and the effects that are happening through here. This is a really fascinating book. I read this book. I really enjoyed it. It's beautifully written. It's a very compelling story. There's some very challenging content in it. But it's a fabulous book. And they knew that they needed to get the word of mouth out there, and they needed to get reviews to get this book in the hands of people so build buzz. And St. Martin's really used just about everything they could on Goodreads to really make this happen, as well as some other things too that we'll touch on as well. So this is the data we're going to look at. This spans about almost 2 years. We're going to talk about different sections of this so you can kind of see what happens, and I'm going to try to explain what all these spikes mean and what was going on during the time. But you know, I guess in terms of the portions of this, you have the ugly part over here where nobody has it on their shelf, and you have the wonderful part over here where everybody adds it to their shelf, playing on the title. And then you can also see the social amplification. Once the thing takes off, it just really hammers on. So what are we looking at here? This is how many people per day add it to their want-to-read shelf. This is the 500 per day line. It's 1,000. So you can see here basically nothing, a couple little spikes we're going to talk about, not too much activity. And then now we're up here where there's thousands, 4,000 or 5,000 people a day adding to the want-to-read shelf, and how that happens. So it starts out with pre-publication. Every book needs reader reviews, and they need word of mouth, and here's how they went about doing that. The first thing was early buzz and really getting as many books into the hands of influencers as possible. They used NetGalley. They sent 1,000 advanced reader copies to bookstores, to librarians, readers. A lot of people don't necessarily have that kind of resource, but just showing you what they did. And they started 9 months ahead of publication. But getting your book in the hands of some key influencers, some key Goodreads reviewers or Amazon reviewers, or other NetGalley perhaps, is really something you should definitely look at doing and try to get that buzz going. What St. Martin's really leveraged was our giveaway product. This is a nominally priced product that you can give away a number of copies, print or ebook, on Kindle, which is a relatively new feature as well. And what they're trying to do is promote these giveaways and get people to get it on their want-to-read shelf, and then with the giveaway books, get reviews and ratings going ahead of publication. So we're going to talk about this time zone here in the green. This is pre-publication, and you see these little pink spikes coming along. Those pink spikes are all individual giveaways, spaced a few weeks or months apart from each other. And whenever the giveaway would start or begin to end, they'd get a spike of 100 books, 200 books, 50 books added to the Want to Read shelf. And then it would start picking up some other areas as friends see people into the giveaways, the orange starts popping up. Their friends are seeing this and their friends are adding to the Want to Read shelf as well. And then something happened here that's pretty interesting. Anyone want to take a guess what that might be? BookBub's, that's actually a good suggestion, but this is pre-pub, so BookBub wouldn't be doing that yet. So we're still pre-publication. But we're going to talk about BookBub and something like it in a little bit. Launch. What we had was Emily May. Emily May is one of the top reviewers on Goodreads, super influencer. And Emily May got the book. She has 5,000 friends on Goodreads, 95,000 followers. And she wrote a 5-star review. This book destroyed me. I have never read anything like it. So that just had a huge amount of buzz about what's this all about. And so hundreds, what was it? We had 600 people on that day of that review put that book on the Want to Read shelf. And then something starts happening over here too, which is interesting. Once the reviewer gets there, people start adding, this is the black, look at the black line here. Members are generating book lists and their own member-generated lists of, can't wait to read for 2016, anticipated for 2016, and people are voting on this, and as they see these books on the list, they start adding it to their Want to Read shelf. So now we get to the launch. We're through the pre-pub situation, and this is going to be the launch period, again up here in green. And we're going to talk about the spikes during the launch period and what's going on there. One of the key things in the publication date here is right about early August, it looks like. They did a great job, though, of getting a lot of publicity. Again, they've got a lot of resources to be reaching the press and things, but the book was getting so much momentum and being noticed on Goodreads that a lot of press picked up the fact that the book was coming out. So they went into pre-publication with 14,600 Want to Reads, one of the top 100 most pre-pub shelved books for the year on Goodreads. And they had an amazing 628 reviews before the book was even out. So all that strategy worked to get a tremendous amount of momentum for the book. All that data, and from the Goodreads editorial standpoint, we get obviously pitched by many people and authors and publishers on their books. Where the editors really look is they look at what's going on the site first and foremost. And they saw all this activity with the shelvings increasing, the ratings, the reviews increasing, and that basically allowed the editors to notice it, take notice of the book, and we put it in our new releases email, and then also did a debut author snapshot. So and these two things are huge benefits and motivators. 40 million emails going out and 35 million readers on our general monthly newsletter. So obviously this is going to be part of these spikes you're going to see coming forward. So this is all around the launch. We see the Goodreads new releases email. On that day it went out. We had 300 Want to Read shelvings, and that continued for several days after that. St. Martin's, and then the general newsletter about the same size, but in between that, St. Martin's ran another giveaway that actually even added more than the two newsletters combined. So again, this is their 6th or 7th giveaway they've done with the book to keep the momentum going. Something starts interesting here too. The red on the bottom, this is traffic coming from people entering the name or title of the book or the author's name into the Goodreads search box. So all this momentum, we're starting to find people actually searching for the book as well on Goodreads. And that's adding to the Want to Read shelf as well. At this point, St. Martin's actually invested in one of our premium ad products. This is called the Personal Selection Email. This email really needs to be more than, shouldn't be a promotion. It should be written from the author or in a way that in the voice of what this book is all about. I think you'll like it. And we basically are able to email it to everybody who has it on their Want to Read shelf. who may not have been able to buy it, have not bought it, and basically say it's now available for sale. We have buy buttons down here immediately. Because they had so many people already on the database of wanting to read it, a very, very powerful mailer that, that drove even more want-to-reads as people saw this email and added it or bought it, the book. And this is this is a product that was not used, but you should know about this, especially if any of you have an established author relationship. We are unique, I think. I don't think anyone else has anything like this. We call this the author recommended email. So everybody knows that authors will write blurbs for each other for their book jackets and things of that nature. We can actually put it into an email. So if you have an established author that has a large Goodreads following, you have a less established author, and that author can recommend the other author's book. So we can send an email to their, to their user or fan base on Goodreads, and they can recommend, like, I know this book, I think you'll enjoy it. And this is a very, very powerful product that drives a lot of want-to-reads as well as a lot of shelvings. So back to our graph. We've got the Goodreads newsletter, and then we've got the personal selection email that I just mentioned, another spike. And then all this momentum led to this other huge spike here, which was social amplification through the Book of the Month Club, which selected the book and featured it in their newsletter as well, adding on that single day 1,300 additional want-to-read shelvings. So there's a number of book page, list, search, friends, giveaways, publicity. All these lines are driving these spikes, and then you have the social amplification maintaining for days afterwards. Some more giveaways done here. We're now, 150 to 200 books are being added every day to the want-to-read shelf. Key thing that's important, the author's role. Bryn Greenwood, she's got a big social media presence. She says she's always touring. She's always out there, signing and doing that activity. Really, really important. And being accessible to our questions, utilizing blogs on her author profile page on Goodreads. She answers a lot of questions. She engages with readers. They notice that. They share that with their friends, and it really, really pays off. One of the things that she did with us was interesting was giving more, where people would write in and tell us about deleted scenes or deleted portions of the book, and she would actually dig in further and give them some more background. And this type of interaction is just hugely valuable in building your social media presence, your fan base, and reader base. So, great launch, great pre-publication, everything's going great, but there's even more to the story. We're going to talk about post-publication, and this next section in the green. And St. Martin's knew they had a great thing going here, but it was selling well, it was doing very well. They wanted to try to take it to the next level. And all that momentum allowed them to do some major spikes, and this is everything's working very well for them here. So it's good luck, but they've made their own good luck here. But they were nominated for one of the Goodreads Choice Awards. Are you familiar with the Choice Awards? No. So this is the largest book awards decided by readers. What we do at Goodreads every year, this will be our 10th year coming up, is we go through all the data. Take the top 20,000 books, run it through some additional data in terms of the most shelvings, the most ratings, the highest ratings, star ratings, and cull it down to approximately 120 different genres, from fiction to romance to young adult to nonfiction, 20 major genres. And then our editors will then hand select about 10 books in each genre, and we put that out to our membership to vote. Last year we had 3.8 million votes across 100 or so books. So this is a huge award. Everybody really looks forward to it, and it drives. If you're able to get your book into the nominations, this is what happens. As soon as we send out the email saying that the voting is open, all the books on there, in this case this is All the Wonderful and Ugly Things, 2,500 additional want-to-read shelves on the first email going out on voting. And then we have semifinal rounds. So the book made it to the next round. So as each round of voting gets further and further along, again, we have spikes every single point on the way. And although Bryn did not win, was Truly Madly Guilty won the 2016 Best Fiction. She did come in second place with 27,000 votes, I believe. And then we announced the winners, and then again, a record 3,500 want-to-read shelvings on that day when the win, even though it was not the winning book. So very powerful from that standpoint. And this is where it starts getting really interesting. This is where the book club type of situation comes in. We now have Goodreads deals, which is similar to book club. We are a little bit different. We do nominations, we look for quality books, but not only do we mail it to the subscribers who subscribe to our deals, but also if that book is on your want-to-read shelf and it goes on sale on a deal, we'll email and let you know that it's at a special deal. And we did a special, this is kind of a rare event because these are front list books, bestsellers in many cases, but we did a special deal of the day for Goodreads Choice Awards winners, which a number of the publishers thought was a great idea to drive more publicity, and not so much sale, but even more publicity. But here's some tweets, how people really enjoy the Goodreads deals. I'm picking up books on my want-to-read shelf for $2. My deal email alerts, allow me to get the books that are on my want-to-read list. So it's a great promotional effort. This was our one-day Choice Awards winners, the books that did participate, including All the Wonderful and Ugly Things, all the ugly and wonderful things, rather, and it went on sale that day, for that day only, for $2.99, regular price $12. And that drove a tremendous amount of additional interest on the Deals Award Day, 1,800 want-to-read shelvings. Book of the Month, again, Pick the Book, which drove another huge spike on our want-to-read shelvings. And then New Year's Day, when everyone gets their devices and things of that nature, and we get the big bump, and the book had a lot of momentum and a lot of publicity. So again, more people adding to the want-to-read shelves. And you can see all these other areas too are driving a tremendous amount of momentum. And here's the exciting part. I just love this quote. The Goodreads Choice Awards deal launched the book onto the bestseller list for the first time 4 months after publication. It was a true Goodreads community success story. So that book being on the deals put the book on the bestseller list. So we're really excited about that particular result. A few things here just to keep in mind. The publisher stayed on this because they just saw the great momentum on sales. They continue to do the Choice Awards discovery. So as people find the book, and then people continue over the course of time finding the Choice Awards winners, and they continue to add more to the want-to-read shelving. And then today we're now at 50,000 ratings for the book, and almost a 4.1 star rating. So it's a very popular book today as well. So
is it a memoir or fiction?
It's a fiction. Yeah, it's a fiction story, exactly. So the key takeaways again, give away as many books as you can, pre-publication. Take advantage, if you can't do print, if that's too expensive, take advantage of the ebook, Kindle ebook giveaways that are possible on Goodreads. Engage with your fans, your people. Utilize your Goodreads author page. Talk to people, answer questions, engage with them, get them excited about it, and get them telling their friends about it. And convert those want-to-reads into sales. And of course, having a great book always helps too. One final thing, I took this screenshot yesterday. There's still 174,000 books on members' want-to-read shelves. So again, they're looking at doing more personal selection emails to get those people to convert those to sales. Our personal selection email has an open rate of about 25% and a click-through rate of almost 10%, which is kind of off the charts when it comes to emails. People really like those personal selection emails. So I have some resources for you here that you should know about. We've got a fabulous blog. I don't write it. I wouldn't be nearly as good as people that do, but we have a great team that writes a great authors and advertisers blog. It talks about a lot of things, but it certainly tells you how to leverage the Goodreads service. We have a monthly newsletter that I'd recommend that you subscribe to too, and how you can best market your book and utilize the new features on Goodreads. And if you're interested in advertising, that's my email address down there. I'll be here as well. I'll be delighted to talk to you about advertising. And then if you couldn't get all the details, this is the actual case study and a blog post. And I'm happy to share this keynote with the organization too if you'd like. And I just tweeted it out from my Twitter handle. So if you want to go to Twitter and find me, or it's on yours as well, you've got a link to this blog post as well. It just went out. So I encourage you to check it out. It's a great blog post. It dives into even some more details as well.
Steve, would you put the previous one up?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. I'll let you jot some of those down.
Steve, can you give us that information so we can put it out?
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we can get this posted, or I'm sure we have the technology.